And now I shall reveal the secret to better collage art in 2026. But you know it doesn't take a crystal ball and dramatic lighting to get there. In fact, my advice is shockingly easy to follow. So today we're going to explore 4 ways to level up your artwork this year. Plus, we're going to revisit a work of art that I created and see how I leveled it up from this to this. Here's the thing. Improvement requires reflection. In other words, if we want to set a new course in 2026, it helps to know where we've been. So even though it's hard, it's time we do an honest review of our past work. Now, what makes an honest review hard, at least for my own work, is that sometimes I'll get attached to certain collages, not because I think that they're particularly good, but maybe I used a piece that I was really excited about, and maybe I'm trying to convince myself that what I made was good in order to justify the fact that I used it up. So it is important to take a little time between the making of the thing and reviewing it. Otherwise, you might be more emotional than you mean to be. As I'm looking through my artwork, the most important test is whether or not I find it striking enough to make me pause. The ones I'm pausing on, I'm setting to one side. Once I've made 2 piles of the relatively good ones and my rejects, it's time to ask 3 questions of each piece of art. What was the main subject of this piece? What techniques did I use? And how does the artwork make me feel? When you finish with this, you should have a much better understanding of your own body of work, the subjects you gravitate toward, and the techniques you need to improve on. Thankfully, this isn't just an introspective journey. As a creative, it's not enough to just think about what needs to be improved. We actually need to practice these techniques. So, we're back in the studio with our list of techniques that we need to practice. And for me, I realized that I need to work on allowing more of my sense of whimsy to show through. Oh, and by the way, it's really cold in the studio. It's winter here. And gross outside, so I think I need to slip into something that will help keep me warm. That's better. Here's an example of an artwork I made a while back using scraps. It was around Halloween, and I went very Route 1 with this. In my review, I realized the artworks I like the most have more color, or more depth in meaning. There's nothing unexpected here, though. But in order to make better artwork, I need to ask myself a few questions. First, where could I use contrasting colors or elements to improve or clarify the work's meaning? And second, is there an idea or feeling that the work could explore more deeply by including new elements? Luckily, the answer came to me in the form of this seed catalog. See, I love finding secondary uses for paper materials. This book, having served its primary function as a catalog for me to select a few seeds from in the next year, is now an opportunity waiting to happen in the studio. Plus, I love the idea of pairing something alive and growing with the imagery of the skull. Georgia O'Keeffe utilized this motif in her skull and flower paintings to great effect. And while I'm no O'Keeffe, I think these ideas of life and death are worth exploring in my own studio. Given my inspiration, you might be wondering why I'm cutting out a melon. And the answer is baked into the original purpose of our collage practice today. Bring in more color, depth of meaning, and most of all, practice allowing my whimsy to show through. See, while I'm inspired by O'Keeffe's artwork, I'm aiming to steal like an artist here. Though I'm pairing together concepts that have been done before by many other artists, I still want to give it my own unique spin, and that melon sure does look like a brain to me. I know that I'll be hanging this back up in my house when I'm done, so it's important to me not just to make something beautiful, but also something a little wacky. Something that'll make me laugh every time I see it. Now that all my pieces are assembled, it's time to start trimming. I'm starting out with my melon because I need to get it down so that I can see how it works with the rest of the composition and colors that I add. I love the melon, it's very funny to me, but because of its colors being so similar to the background and the rest of the collage, it's really not doing any of the heavy lifting when it comes to color or visual contrast. The flowers are next. I know it's not exactly groundbreaking to put them in the eye sockets, but don't fix what isn't broken, you know what I'm saying? I ended up going for this purple flower, and that's mostly because the shape was pretty easy to cut out. Sometimes petals can be very thin, and frankly, I just didn't want to spend a whole lot of time trying to cut around thin, straggly petals. Plus, I just liked how this fluffy flower was going to fill the socket, so I guess there was a reason. The next flower I chose, I wanted to make sure had a similar shade or hue, vibe, if you will, as the first flower. So I went with this kind of more maroon one, but it also has a prominent center. I'm thinking that the last piece is going to be a more flowery sort of collar. I liked the quirky bone bow tie, but this will be a lot more expressive and really give me that contrast that I'm looking for. But before we talk about the upgraded version of this work, we have 2 more steps to take to level up our artwork in 2026. Here on YouTube, there are a few ways to engage with your artistic community. The comment section has been an incredible resource for me personally, but there's more to community than comments. I recently turned on my community tab, so if you want to share your finished art or works in progress, I would love to see what you make. I can tell from the comments alone that y'all are an incredible bunch of artists, and I think that we could learn from each other's creative experience. But that's not all you need to level up your artwork. It's important to get out of the studio and explore. This could be a physical exploration, but it doesn't have to be. There's a million ways to travel through some of the books and magazines that we collage artists tend to cut up. Have you ever heard the phrase trash in, trash out? Well, I'd like to reduce the amount of trash that I consume in 2026 to better feed my art. And if by chance you do get outside, you're in luck because there's a lot out there. Peruse the library, walk to the park. Like the city park so much, you go to the Pacific Northwest and fall in love with some trees. It's awesome. Don't believe me? Look at this face. I'm absolutely giddy. Keep walking around on the outside and look at more cool stuff. Watch salmon live out the final stages of their life cycle. Take super shaky footage of tiny mushrooms and slugs slipping and sliding over some leaves. And when the slugs have asked you to kindly get your phone out of their faces, pop into an art museum. See what other people are making. Why? Because your experiences shape your art, so experience as much as you can. So there you have it, my 4 steps for improving your artwork in 2026. Review your work, practice what you struggle on, engage with your artistic community, and explore new ideas that feed your soul and therefore your art. Remember that artwork we were remaking? Well, the final touches are going on now. What do you think? Did I successfully level up this artwork? If you like this video, I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. And if you want to hang out a little longer with me in the studio, then check this video out. Okay, I think that's it. Bye! See ya! Bye! One of those has to work, right? I can't keep doing this, it's too weird. Level up our artwork. Our artwork.